Okay, so I've mentioned this on the channel before, but I am a pretty big fan of a series called Doctor Who. Now, you, as this channel also knows, I'm a big fan of card games, and in a twist I never really thought I would do personally. Oh wait, got twisted this way. Magic the Gathering went out of their way to release Doctor Who decks. They released four of them. Now, thankfully, they released them. Sorry. So they released them in something referred to as Commander format. Commander format is 100 card decks. So they released a total of, I think I want to say roughly 250 new card arts, because there are a lot of reprints in these card arts. In these. Yes, so unfortunately, I did not get the master deck I wanted because the shipping came late. I'll be getting that tomorrow. They promised me to come tomorrow. But I did want two decks because whenever I play a card game, I get two decks. And I decided to get the original 8 Doctors deck. So this is the 4th Doctor. The fourth Doctor is the longest run. Can you guys see that without the light? Do I need to do that a little bit? Does that come out better? No, it actually comes up. There we go. Okay, we'll do it like this. There we go. Yeah. So the fourth Doctor. So this deck, I played it a little bit with my brother. But we don't really know how to play Magic all that well. But this deck is supposed to have shave your beard. I do plan on shaving your beard today or tomorrow. So this deck has every Doctor prior to 9, which is unfortunate because of a card I'll talk about. I'll talk about a little. Actually, I can talk about it now. So I'm assuming you guys don't know how to play Magic, and I'm a little rusty on Magic, so I'm not going to talk too much about the effects. I'll just talk a little about the cards that come in this, some of the events that occur, and such of that nature, because I really don't know if you guys know how to play Magic. Because like this is technically like a 4-mana card. Look at the top of your deck. If it's a legendary card, or if it's a historic card, you can play it from the top of your deck. I am not getting a haircut. No, fuck you. Yeah, so we have the 7th Doctor as well. So you get to play any Doctor in Commander format. From what I understand, you can choose any legendary creature to build a deck on. So, like, again, we also have the 8th Doctor. We have every Doctor prior to 9. Let me see if I can't pull up the others real quickly. Because some of these creatures, I have no idea what the hell they are. As far as I know, I don't know if they're all supposed to be original Doctor Who cards. Or some of them are. Because some of them have names, but some of them also are events that are from other characters. Let me pull them up. These look awesome though. If you are a Doctor Who fan and you were ever interested, even just as like a casual Doctor Who fan or like a diehard Doctor Who fan or just a big fan, these are great across the board. So let me see if I can't. Where the hell are they? Yeah, because unfortunately it's 100 cards you gotta go through. So okay, there's 6 and there's 3rd. Let me just pull them all out real quickly. 5th. I don't know some of these characters, unfortunately, but I'll talk a little about the cards, the ones I do know, and what they have involved. Because for some reason, there are cards in here that come from the later era of Doctor Who instead of the older version. I don't really understand why. Yeah, because like some of these didn't get 2nd Doctor, 1st. Is that all of them? Hang on. 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. So, yeah, we already talked about those. Yeah. We get the 1st Doctor. 2nd. 3rd. They all have their own unique playstyles. 5th. 6th. You can say classic era, modern era. Is that the terminology for it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know the proper terminology. And it kind of sucks because they give you only 8 doctors because they actually give you Gallifrey stands. Now this is technically a modern era, I guess is the correct term, card, because what you do is you play this card and you can return every doctor card in your graveyard back to your hand. And this card lets you play doctors every turn for free, but when you get 13 doctors on the field, you win the game. But you can only have 8 in this deck, or they only give you 8 in the deck. So if you want to pull off a strategy with that, which I kind of do want to give that a try, I have to go out of my way to buy the remaining doctors, which is 9, 10, 11, and I think 12 and 13 are the only ones. I have a copy of 12 actually, thankfully, but I don't know if this card counts the Fugitive Doctor or the War Doctor. Because it's for context, the Fugitive Doctor was a doctor revealed in the 13th era, where you find out that the doctors had several more lives in the original 13. Well, no, they're not expensive. So technically, these decks are sold in cases of 4, and you have to pay $200 for all 4. But card shops will sell you individual cards. Every card in this deck, with the exception of 1 card, is less than like $1. I think they're relatively cheap. The only one that's expensive is a 9th Doctor card event called Everybody Lives, which is for 1 turn, no character or creature and can die, and no player can lose the game. So it's a blanket, just no one dies, which is just such a on flavor fucking card effect. Yeah, I know, because for example, we have like. So all these cards do come with original artwork for Doctor Who, but some of them I believe some are new, but some of them are reprints. Like for example, Reverse the Polarity right here, I'm pretty sure is a unique card, because I would be surprised if they had a card called Reverse the Polarity. But then we also have companions. So on top of every Doctor we do have companions like Perry Brown, who, unfortunately, I do not know which Doctor she comes from, because I'm pretty sure she might be second. I don't think she's fourth. I'm pretty sure she's second specifically, but I could be wrong on that one. Swords to Plowshares. I'm pretty sure this is just a. I don't know what era Doctor this actually is. It's where 2 soldiers to show peace. Yeah, so I have so for example right here, Talisman of Progress. So this card is a generic Magic card, but for the purpose of the Doctor Who event, they reprinted it with Tom Baker's scarf as the focus. Tom Baker's scarf was the most iconic piece of his actual outfit during the time as Doctor. They all have like unique outfits, but Tom Baker's scarf in particular was his most unique thing. And they also reprinted all the generic lands to have the TARDIS in a random location. So that is really fucking cool. The fact that every generic land got a reprint with a TARDIS on it. You have your generic areas that got turned into Doctor Who areas. This is called Glacial Fortress. I'm not quite sure what ship this is in Doctor Who though. Unfortunately, I am a little more familiar with the villains and the modern era more than I am with the classical era. I can talk a little bit about what the cards do, but again, I don't play Magic too much. Yeah, so for example, we have Prairie Stream. I believe this is a modern era area. It looks like a futuristic city. This one right here is Day of Destiny. This right here is the day the Doctor leaves Gallifrey and goes on to, become the Doctor. I don't know if the very first episode of Doctor Who specifically shows this, but I believe this is shown when Clara goes back in time in the... I forgot what the episode was called specifically. But Clara goes into the Doctor's time stream and goes through time. Despite Clara going through all the Doctor's timelines, you can only get Clara if you buy the fucking 13th Doctor's deck for some reason. She's not... For some reason, they did not make her a companion card in the 10th Doctor's deck, because the 10th Doctor's deck has the 11th Doctor. And Clara started as the 11th Doctor's companion, but I think she's only printed in the 12th Doctor's deck, or the 13th Doctor, but the 13th Doctor hits the 12th Doctor. Yeah, unfortunately, some of these cards I'm not too familiar with, like City of Death for the 4th Doctor they're all named on episodes or arcs. I'm pretty sure City of Death was a special for the 4th Doctor that went through like five series. That sounds weird, but classic Doctor Who. So nowadays, when you watch a TV show, it's an hour long and you get the whole episode. Classical Doctor Who was broken up into sections and segments of an episode. So that's where it gets a little messy. We have another Doctor's Companion, Nissa of Drakon. I believe this one is a 4th Doctor companion because I remember that her dad gets taken over by the Master when he abducts his body. Oh, I guess a lot of these cards get rid of maximum hand size. Unfortunately, Devil's a little out of touch with Magic, so he doesn't know too much about some of the rulings. I'll have to go to the local card shop to play with their people, see what they say. Ian Chesterton. Unfortunately, I do not know who this companion is in particular. And they don't tell you which Doctor is it. It's weird over here. We got a dub about it. I think it's kind of strange that the series seems pretty popular in the US and X-Files made it in Latin and people loved it. I think it's just sci-fi. Here we have Path to Exile. I believe this is when the 2nd Doctor is forced into a regeneration by the Time Lords. This card removes a card from the field, but your opponent so this lets you target any card. Ian's 1st Doctor companion. Is he? Okay, so then Ian is a 1st Doctor companion. Thank you, Pimp Demon. So this card just lets you get mana and shuffle your deck if you just get rid of a card that you control or another one. We get Annals from the 11th Doctor because I believe Annals only appeared for the day. That wasn't the Day of the Doctor. What was the episode called where Matt Smith... Oh, actually, wait. Is this another... Oh, so that's pretty fucking cool. I didn't realize that. So, even though they're the same generic land, they have different artwork for the TARDIS. That's pretty fucking cool. I didn't realize that. It's Time of the Doctor? Okay, I was gonna say. I know it's of the Doctor. I just don't know if it's day or time. The same with Star Trek. It never got a land dub. Here we only know it because it released Star Wars. Also because a bunch of Doctors and a couple good staples. So all of these generic land cards, like Deserted Beach, this is an 11th Doctor episode where the 11th Doctor technically dies. But he gets killed, and then you go on a whole time travel shenanigan to save him. So it's a little weird. Fortified Village, this is Trenzalore. So for some reason... And I think it's because they're generic cards with just the artwork. But for some reason, this deck has several cards from the 11th Doctor's run, including 2 cards related to Trenzalore specifically. Trenzalore is where the Doctor was supposed to die until the events of the Time of the Doctor. And then that also got retconned again with the 13th Doctor, where you find out the Doctor is immortal and always has been and can never really die because, it's not... If only that was given to the proper Time Lord who kept coming back from death, but whatever. Yeah, here we have a Gallifrey Council Chamber. These are all generic staples. This is a legendary land card. However, it should be worth noting specifically that this is from the 10th Doctor's run, because this is Rassilon addressing the High Council, or at least it looks like Rassilon. Here we have the Sea Devils. I believe this is the 2nd or 3rd episode the Master appeared in, where the Master, after being captured, creates a device that summons creatures from the sea to try and attack mankind. The War Games is the final episodes. The proper time for Rassilon. This is Rassilon does have a card in the villains deck. When I get the villains deck, I'll do a video talking about that one too. The War Games is the last episode with the second Doctor where he faces off against a Time Lord called the War Chief. As far as I know, the War Chief has never come back since that episode, and he's one of several Time Lords who was the Doctor's opponent and then just kind of disappears. Currently, in today's day and age, only the Master has been consistently returning. We have Barbara Wright, which, based on the fact that the other professor was the first Doctor's, I'm going to assume that she is also a first Doctor companion. Because I think she's actually in the artwork for the. No, that looks a little different, but I'm pretty sure she's a first Doctor companion. She might be second Doctor though. Return to Dust specifically, I don't know what a star being shattered represents in Doctor Who specifically. That might be the War Chief episode, because I do remember that the Doctor has to set up like a device to call the Time Lords in. Thriving Isle is just a land card. Which is, I don't know this location specifically. I think it's just a random space location. Here we have the TARDIS on a random island. It's beautiful. Here we have the TARDIS on a random desert, swamp planet by the looks of it. Some sort of like hot gas vents. Honestly, they probably just took a bunch of like generic land cards and just put a fucking TARDIS there. This is all new artwork apparently, so I could be wrong on that. Here we have another card. I don't know the location for this one. Looks like a gas planet by the looks of it. Temple of Enlightenment. I do not know that location specifically. Unfortunately, quite a bit of the classic Doctor Who era is missing, so it's really hard to watch it. I think most of the first Doctor's run is completely gone, actually. And I think a good portion of the second Doctor's run is missing. I think a few Tom Baker episodes are missing. I think a few of the third Doctors are. I think once we get to 5th and 6th, we start having more consistent episodes and a lot less droppings. Yeah, so here we have Ace's baseball bats, which is Ace is the companion of the 7th Doctor. That is one I am familiar with. We have Jamie McCrummon. I do not know which companion this is for. Or which Doctor companion this is. I'm pretty sure if I had to make a guess, though, it's probably going to be either 4th or 5th. Adric, Mathematical Genius, is a companion to the 4th Doctor, and if I recall correctly... No, this one might be a 5th Doctor companion, actually. Yeah, I think this is a companion to the 5th Doctor. All I remember is that he dies, and they do have the artwork of when he is dying. So, that's a little fucked up thing, too, regarding these fucking arts, is that if you're familiar with the characters, a lot of these artworks of the characters are when they're about to die, or right before they die. So, that's a little fucked. We have Tegan, who I believe is a 5th Doctor companion. I believe Tegan is a 5th Doctor companion, but I could be wrong on that one. We have the artwork of the final scenes with the 7th Doctor and his companion Ace, because the 7th Doctor's run never got a proper conclusion. What happened to the 7th Doctor is the 7th Doctor ends up in, I think, San Francisco. He gets shot, and when they take him to a hospital... He tries to get them to stop, but they use medicine that kills Time Lords on accident because they don't know the allergic reaction. And so the 7th Doctor basically dies completely at random. And then we get the 8th Doctor, who kills himself technically later on to turn into the War Doctor. The War Doctor turns into the 9th, and then so on and so forth. Technically, 11th Doctor, 12th Doctor, and 13th Doctor are one number up. But we didn't find out about the War Doctor until the Day of the Doctor, which is near the end of Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor's run. Thriving Groove. I don't recognize this card art, unfortunately. I don't recognize this location. Another TARDIS by the beach. This might actually be a reference to This location in particular might be a reference to where the 10th Doctor leaves Rose, because he leaves Rose on a beach in an alternate time in an alternate dimension that gets locked away because apparently he can't go get her, even though like he can basically fucking do everything. Celestial Colonnade. A lot of these are just land cards with new artwork. I just don't recognize some of these artworks. I'm assuming this. I think this one might specifically be Kronos, because if I recall correctly, that bird is what Kronos looks like whenever the Master summons him. I believe Kronos in the lore is a god of time or the god of time. He is a very powerful deity. I just don't know if he scales above the white or black guardians, respectively. Exotic Orchard. I am unfamiliar with this location. I think this is a more recent Doctor Who episode, though. Bessie, the Doctor's Roadster, and in the artwork it does have the third Doctor. Yeah, early Doctor Who, while the TARDIS was still a thing, early Doctor Who was much more centered on the planet and on Earth, so the Doctor would have a car to just drive around. Pretty straightforward. So this is the 5 Doctors. This was not the first crossover event with the Doctors, because I'll actually pull this one up now. Here we go. A few cards down. The Doctors did have one crossover special prior to on a beach on Norwegian. Oh, that's pretty cool, to Norway. So the Doctors prior to the Day of the Doctor had 2 crossover specials in the classic era. The 3 Doctors, which is the one you're seeing here, and the 5 Doctors, which you're seeing here. So the three Doctors one is specifically just a land searcher, a little disappointing all things considered, and the other one is, oh, that's pretty good. Okay, child takes every time it says Doctor. So the 5 Doctors is actually an interesting card, because I didn't realize what this did until right now, because I didn't get to play this against my brother. It lets you search 5 Doctor cards in your deck or grave, but if you pay an additional 5 on top of the 6 you have to pay for it, it lets you summon all 5 Doctors you search onto the field. Oh, you mean this K9? Yeah, K9 is there. Look at him. Look at him. What does he even do? Negative. As long as K9 Mark 1 is untapped, other legendary creatures you control have Ward 1. I have no idea what the fuck this shit means. Affirmative. Target legendary creature can't be blocked this turn. Oh, he's a Doctor's Companion! Oh, that's pretty sick, actually. Okay, so for context in a Commander deck, in Commander deck formats, you have one Commander card. Let's say I have the first Doctor as a Commander. Normally, that's it. But there is a specific rule regarding Doctor Companions and other cards like this, where you can have 2 Commanders, 1 Companion, and 1 Doctor. Commanders in this deck specifically are just cards you can summon whenever. You don't need anything, he's simply a good boy. Well, apparently he buffs, but he dies very easily. Next we have Jo Grant. I believe Jo Grant is a 3rd Doctor Companion. I believe she is 3rd Doctor. Yes, because I'm pretty sure the Master liked her, and that was Roger Delgado's Master. So I'm pretty sure she's a 3rd Doctor Companion. I don't know if she stuck around for the 4th Doctor. Thriving Heat. Not sure what this is. Looks like some ants.
Hey, you gotta turn and wash those fucking clothes today. That sucked. So if I was you, and it's gonna be kind of gross, use the small one.
That's what I mean.
I don't care. Use a small one for your ass and your legs, and use the big one for your body.
Oh, you did using the big one?
I had to, because I'm not gonna grab the other one for the rest of my body once I wash my hands.
Alright.
So that's what I would do.
Alright. Yeah, we're having a little bit of a water pipe issue, so we have to
little?
use. Yeah, it's a little problem.
That water is not gonna go away. So if you leave droplets You better try your best to get them out in the toilet because they're not going to go down right now.
I get what you're saying, but I get what you're saying. Anyways. Wait, you guys had two different types of sponges? No. So what happened was our shower head has a pipe leak, so if we use it, it leaks water into the walls
And
and
also,
it
how
got
is it
through.
just when the up is down and not on the bottom?
Because they use two different pipes to go up and down. So that means that whatever pipe is moving upwards has a hole right there.
How did she not see it the first time?
Because, well, when she saw it, we weren't showering.
The mold. How does she not see the mold when she was complaining and saying she cleaned everything out? That ain't just happened right now.
That mold right there is actually a little surprising because she left the box there for so long. I guess she never bothered to look behind it. However, that means I'll have to talk to him about that because I'll talk to him about that. Yeah, I got some like.
Yeah, I gotta go to the gym.
Up to you.
Huh?
It's up to you.
What do you mean it's up to? I got to.
Well, anyway, I'll have to get some mold removal for that area probably.
Do you tell him I won?
I'm just talking about the cards. I have another TARDIS land.
I did that too.
What?
I talked about all the cards. I just didn't read their abilities because no one's up with Magic Master.
Banished to another universe. I have no idea what that monster is. I'm pretty sure it's a Cyberman, but I could be wrong on that one. So some of these cards do have like flavor text. Yeah, so right here we have the third Doctor. It has strange properties. A Metabellus crystal. It can infect the mind, and we have, I guess, the area where the crystals are mined. So Magic, I'm actually a little surprised by, but Magic actually does have quotes for characters and stuff in there. Like here we have Venice, with the 11th Doctor. Kind of weird that they would, of all the 11th Doctor locations, they printed fucking Venice. We have Dugan, Private Detective. Unfortunately, I do not know which Doctor he belongs to.
I don't either.
Except I'm not sure if he actually does belong to a Doctor, because he doesn't have a companion tag on him, but neither does the Brigadier. The Brigadier's been with the Doctor for several adventures. We have Susan Foreman. I believe Susan is a 5th or 6th Doctor companion. I do not think she is a 4th. She might be 4th. I could be wrong there. Traverse Eternity. This is a 4th Doctor adventure, but I do not recognize the object in question. We have Ramona II. I do not know which one she's from. She is a Time Lord scientist. So if I had to make a guess, I'm going to assume she's with either 3rd or 4th. I think she's with 4th Doctor. Because 4th is, I think, the one that got along with the Time Lords the best. 5th, I don't think got along with the Time Lords very well. And 6th and 7th, I don't think got along with the Time Lords all that well. I think 8 didn't like the Time Lords either. We have a Soul Ring. This is a staple in every Magic deck, apparently. The Eye of Harmony, Exploding Star, in the act of becoming a black hole. Time Lord Engineering. Banished in our universe looks like a Sutic Spirit. Wait, so if you got Doctor Who deck, what deck do you burn up getting? So there are 3 Doctor... So I do not like how they split up the decks. There are 4 Doctor Who decks. Classic Doctors, Modern Era Doctors, Postmodern, I guess? So basically, it's 1 through 8 for the Doctors, 9 through 12, 9 through 11 actually, and then it is 12 through 13, and that's it, because it goes with 13, and then it's all of his villains in one deck. I disagree with how they split it up. What I think they should have done personally is just combine all the modern Doctors and all the classic Doctors in 2 decks like that, and have 1 deck for the Master and Time Lord based villains, and then have 1 deck for like the Daleks and Devros. Because when I get to the villain deck tomorrow, I will talk about that. I can talk a little more about that one. Devros, the Master, the Cyber Commander, the Cyber Master, like all the major villains of Doctor Who are in one deck, which is kind of a little silly. They also, I don't know even know if they synergize with each other. These precons are 100 card decks with one card each, so I don't even know if these synergize. This is apparently a reference to a Sixth Doctor scene. He is not in the artwork though. Here we have the classic TARDIS traveling through time picture for a landmark, Path of Ancestry. This lets you look at the top card of your deck. Apparently this is the Second Doctor's TARDIS, since it does reference it. We have the Fifth Doctor's Piece of Celery as a Talisman of Unity. And yes, that's being actually truthful. The Fifth Doctor, for whatever reason, walked around with a piece of celery on his outfit. I don't think they ever explained why. I think part of the reason is that he's always kind of hungry, so he just has a snack on him. We do get a sonic screwdriver, but I believe this is the Fifth Doctor sonic screwdriver. I believe that sonic screwdriver does have artwork in the...
Didn't have one.
What?
The Fifth Doctor didn't have one.
He did, he just never used it often.
No, he didn't have it.
Yeah, he did. He just never used it often. I think Third didn't have... No, actually, wait, let me check. That could be Third's, actually. Hello, Corbin. You're new here. I'm pretty sure that's Fifth's. Unfortunately, they don't tell you what Doctor it belongs to. I guess, you know, you gotta be a fan to recognize it. The Fifth Doctor does have a sonic screwdriver, I'm pretty sure. Either him or Sixth. Because most of the Doctors in the classic era were very hands-on. But I'm pretty sure Fifth had... I subscribed. Thank you, Corbin. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure Fifth Doctor has a sonic screwdriver. Because I think it was introduced with the Fifth Doctor. I don't know. I think Third might have had a sonic screwdriver. Because it shows Devros in the picture by the looks of it. So it's a sonic screwdriver being used right behind Devros. So Devros is introduced in the Fourth Doctor's run. So your only options are 4th, 5th, 6th, or 7th.
And did the Fifth Doctor have the celery because it apparently was like the cure to a poison?
I don't know why he had the celery. I'm not gonna... I can't really talk about that one. But I'm pretty sure 5th Doctor has sonic screwdriver. Because I don't think 6th ever used one. And 7th might have had one, but I don't think he ever uses it.
Wasn't his the king?
No, the 7th just carried a cane around. Because before... 2nd was first? The 2nd was the first one to meet Devros, or second one to... Or was the 2nd the first one to have a sonic screwdriver? Because I'm pretty sure Devros was first introduced with the 4th Doctor. Ladder? So he was the first one to meet Devros? Because that would be the ladder statement. Okay, Did the 2nd Doctor meet Devros? Huh. I did not know that. I thought that he was introduced to the 4th Doctor's run. We have the Caves of Androzania. I do not know how to pronounce that. Androzania. Nani? Okay, second Doctor did something. Unless you mean the 2nd Doctor had a sonic screwdriver first.
Right.
Hmm?
He had it, but then it got destroyed by a fish.
The 5th Doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it's probably his sonic screwdriver then. We have Temple of Misery. We have twice a sonic screwdriver. Okay, so 2nd Doctor introduced a sonic screwdriver. 3rd Doctor, I don't think ever used it. 4th Doctor, I'm pretty sure never used it. 5th Doctor did have one. 6th Doctor might have used it once or twice. 2nd introduced it? It's weird. Okay, so I'm not too sure on this one. This is called... This is Twice Upon a Time. I believe this is the 13th Doctor's era. Because I believe the artwork shows the 1st Doctor and the 13th Doctor in front of the TARDIS. But I don't know. Twice Upon a Time was a different crossover special. Here we have the Curse of Fenric. This was one of the Seventh Doctor's most iconic storylines where you basically find out that the Seventh Doctor planned everything. It's 13? Okay, it is 13. Okay, I was right. Yeah, the Curse of Fenric, if I remember correctly, was the Seventh Doctor where like basically it was I think the story of Ace's birth, and you basically find out that the Seventh Doctor knew practically everything that was going on. Because the Seventh Doctor was a planner, kind of like a big old mastermind behind the scenes, like a real Eisen-esque character, which made it kind of funny because, again, as I mentioned earlier, he dies getting shot by random street thugs and then dies in the hospital because they gave him drugs that make him allergic. Here we have Time Lord Regeneration, and it's kind of a little strange, but they chose the Fifth Doctor specifically for this regeneration cycle. Because the Fifth Doctor does not regenerate on screen. I think what happened was he couldn't make it to shooting, so the Fifth Doctor gets knocked out and regenerates off screen, and then comes back as the Sixth Doctor. You never see his face in the episode, if I remember correctly. Here we have Arcane Signet, which looks like a Time Lord medallion. I believe it's supposed to be Razalon, but I could just be assuming. No, my bad. Seal of the High Council of Gallifrey, nicked it off the Master in the Death Zone. Yeah, so I think, so at least it's a High Council member, but yeah, it's a Gallifreyan medallion. Yeah. Seaside Citadel, not too sure on this one, says the captain. We do have Ace as a companion card. Her bat was in earlier, and she is a, Doctor's companion. She is more of a attack-based character, and that's it. So there's not a lot of utility with her. The villains are very straightforward in battle damage. The 9th through 11th Doctor, I believe, are also straightforward battle damage. The original Doctors are very utilitarian cards where you have to try and extrapolate their effects to create different win cons and synergies. Again, I do plan to make a deck where I just summon all the Doctors and win, but it'll probably fail super hard. Not too sure on this one. It says Professor Chronotus. Alright, hopefully I don't get hit by a copyright strike. My brother's listening to TikTok. An Unearthly Child. This is the name of the first Doctor's episode. This just searches other Doctors. Actually, pretty solid card. Sergeant John Benton is, I believe, a younger member of UNIT who usually joins the Brigadier when dealing with the Doctor. Trial of the Time Lord, Trial of a Time Lord, is the Sixth Doctor's, not final story, but I think it was the Sixth Doctor's most memorable story, because it's the Sixth Doctor is on trial for the destruction of a planet by the Time Lords, and halfway through the trial, you find out that the guy persecuting the Doctor and trying to kill him is the Doctor from the future. So that was a really cool episode for sure. Unfortunately, they haven't paid off that sort of reveal since. I don't even think the Valeyard... The novels continue the Valeyard's events, and you find out it's just the 13th Doctor who went crazy. Like an episode from Rick and Morty. Yes, but actually a little more seriously treated. I believe this is a 5 Doctors card because it says Heroes Podium and it shows several characters and Doctors from different timelines. I believe that's chess pieces representing them. Here we have the Night of the Doctor, which is it's not a TV special. I believe it was a YouTube special that came out in preparation for the 50th anniversary, the Day of the Doctor. It was basically just a setup to bring in a new Doctor because, unfortunately, the 9th Doctor was unwilling to come back for the 50th anniversary, which is a damn shame because if the 9th Doctor had been there, it would have been a fucking awesome special. It's still a good special. John Hurt did a great job, but it very much cheated in its rules of the series to not bring him back. He was the one who refused to come back. I'm pretty sure they asked him. He just didn't want to. Because now the way the story goes is the 8th Doctor, instead of turning into 9th after the war, drinks a potion or a poison, essentially, to kill himself to turn into a warrior who would then fight the Time War. And at the end of the Time War, we get the Time of the Doctor, or the Day of the Doctor, my bad. And then afterwards, rest in peace, John Hurt. Yeah, rest in peace, John Hurt. He did a great job. But at the very end of the War Doctor's run, the very last scene you see with him, he's turning into the 9th Doctor, which is kind of like, it really fucked up the regeneration cycles and the knowledge there, because 10 technically cheated and regenerated twice. So that just threw the whole fucking regenerations for a fucking loop. I think that's why they gave up trying to even put stakes behind it, and they just made it to where the Doctor's immortal, because it's just easier to work that way without thinking too hard. Here we have Sarah Jane Smith. War Doctor's your favorite? Then he's in the other deck. I do not have him. Sarah Jane Smith is the Doctor's companion for, I believe, 5th? I believe it's 5th and 4th. I believe 4th has Sarah Jane Smith as well. Sarah Jane Smith, I think, was a recurring companion because she comes back for the 10th Doctor's run as an older character. And I believe she does get her own TV show for a bit that is canon to Doctor Who. I believe David Tennant does cameo in it. Matt Smith showed up in it? Okay, so apparently you got the Matt Smith too. I think you mean Sarah Jane Milf. Whoa there, Pimp Demon. Whoa.
Yeah, Sarah Jane, please love me.
Here we have the Hero's Blade, which is just the sword used by the third Doctor. Because the 3rd Doctor was a swordsman, or at least a fencer to some extent. Could you not? Matt Smith also in Sarah Jane Smith show? Yeah, Bart told me. Yes, I heard they had some problems in the canon with some of the decisions on the writing team, specifically on the last season, which I was about to ask if the deck features the last Doctor. Record of Ragnarok round 9 ended. Who won? Oh, I guess don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. My bad. Don't spoil it, Dark Lord. I'll read it later. The most recent Doctor season is in the decks, just not in this one. No, I told you. All right, Pimp Demon. Apparently, Pimp Demon's going back in time to tell me in the past. My mistake. Round 9, most boring fight ever? Probably. So I have to buy the individual Doctors, but hang on. I have some cards. I think I can show you guys one of the other Doctors I bought. Or, yeah, I'm going to buy it because I do want to run a deck with all the Doctors in it to try and get that win con.
Do you think people already have online how to make decks out of just these decks with the commanders?
Yeah, you can look up right now. There's already YouTube videos of people upgrade the decks.
No. I mean, only using the cards from these packs, though.
Most people wouldn't do that, but you can check. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there. Hang on, guys. Because I'd at least like to show you the other Doctor I have to work with. They all share the same feats, yeah. So I do have some other cards, but I won't show. I'll show some of them a little bit later. So there we go. Okay, I do have this one. Yeah, so unfortunately, I only have one extra Doctor right now. I have to go get the other Doctors in order to try and make the strategy work. It's not going to work, but it's just janky enough to where I'd like to play it. Should be cheap, though. I do have a copy of the 12th Doctor. This was Peter Capaldi's Doctor, and in my personal opinion, the last good Doctor for the time being. There hasn't really been another one. But yeah, no. So 12 and 13 share a deck. 9, 10, War, and 11 share one deck. So yeah, I do have a few copies of the Master, actually, and they're all tarts. I'll show those later. So this is just a card that gets rid of your maximum hand size. Peter Awesome. Yeah, Peter Capaldi's card is actually a little silly too, but it's more utility, but a little more attack. Again, the original Doctors don't really attack. Every Doctor after has a lot of attack value and stats on them. So this is actually a chameleon circuit. The Master used this. Well, both the Master and the Doctor use it to turn to humans. Who was the best Doctor, 10th or 11th? I think 10th's better than 11, but they were both really good Doctors. Honestly, I felt kind of bad for, like, I was a little worried for Capaldi when he showed up because oh man, he was following up probably some of the best Doctors in the franchise. Like most hardcore fans will debate that either the 4th or the 10th Doctor is the best Doctor in Doctor Who.
Who was the best companion?
I'm not going to get into that because I haven't seen all the companions.
Handles.
What? Handel's not the best companion, bro.
He is. He's the only one that survives.
Handels dies.
Yeah, but after how long?
Bro, he's dead.
800 years.
Bro, he couldn't get a software update, bro. He's dead.
800 years.
Here we have another, I believe, repeat. This is a Bill Potts. Oh, wait, Bill Potts? That's 13th Doctor location, actually. I don't know where this is then. Here we have the TARDIS on clouds and the moon. Great artwork. Shitty fucking card. Irrigated farmland. Do not know where this is from. Overall, best Doctor, I think I am still going to have to say 10th Doctor. I think he had a really solid run across the board. But a lot of Doctors have their fucking ups and downs for sure. But I think 10th Doctor was consistently a really good Doctor. 4th was great too. 4th is like I've seen some shit with 4th. 4th is fucking good. We have a 11th Doctor farmland area. The Doctor from Doctor Who versus Dante. That depends on how much you want to give the Doctor and how much prep you want to give the Doctor. Temple of Plenty, which is just an Aztec temple visited by the Doctor.
And Dante being Rosefeller.
The fuck? We have the TARDIS's command center. All prep. Then the Doctor should take that. Here we have the Trenzalore Clock Tower, which does have the Doctor. This is actually where the 11th Doctor technically died, but then he gets regeneration of a new set of cycles, and then that got retconned again because fucking 13th Doctor was fucking terrible. Here we have the Medusa Cascade, which Devros uses to try and destroy all of creation. So what Devros was going to do was, according to Devros, all of creation was held together by, it's technically a 12th Doctor. Yeah, but we're just going to call him 11th because the card calls him the 11th Doctor. So Devros was going to destroy all of creation across all of every timeline. Because according to Devros, all of reality is held together by an electrical field. And he had created a weapon that would cancel out the electrical field in its entirety. So it would completely destabilize all of creation. Here is the 6th Doctor saving the 2nd Doctor. I do think that was a real crossover, because there were crossovers with some of the Doctors, but I don't know if 6th and 2nd crossed over legitimately. Not 6 and 7, 6 and 2. Zim, is there a moment where the series gets a Kingdom Hearts moment where a bunch of incarnations of the Doctor come together to defeat a great evil? Yeah. That's the Day of the Doctor. So the Doctors join forces on occasion, but it's not until the Day of the Doctor where technically every Doctor prior to 13 shows up to... Well, no, actually there were 13 Doctors there because the War Doctor was there, and so was 9th. So yeah, there was the Day of the Doctor. Here we have the 2nd Doctor's diary. Here we have some fucking dinosaurs. Unfortunately, I am not familiar with what story that would come from. For some reason, we don't have the math guys from the 4th Doctor's run. We do get the Brigadier, Alistair, the Brigadier. Very famous Doctor Who, not companion. Oh, I'd say he's a companion, but he doesn't count as a companion for these decks. We have Leela, 17 Warrior, or 17 Warrior. I don't know what Doctor she's from. I believe she's probably 6th. The artwork's not very flattering. It will travel to the Medusa Cascade into every reality, every dimension, every corner of creation. This is my ultimate victory, the destruction of reality itself. Devros. Yep. This is a really cool card in artwork. So, this card is destroy all tokens or destroy all non-land, non-token permanents. This was such a good moment for Doctor Who because the Daleks kill everything. They're evil. There's no redeeming quality for the Daleks whatsoever, you would assume. But when the Doctor has the chance to kill Daleks forever and just erase them from existence by killing them before they're created, he hesitates. And he starts listing off all the reasons why he shouldn't kill the Daleks. Even though they will kill everything, they murder everything, the Doctor acknowledges that their existence did enough good that it might justify them existing. And it's a really interesting discussion because later on the Doctor hates the Daleks and the Daleks almost kill the Time Lords. But the fact that the 4th Doctor legitimately has that conversation with himself is actually one of the best scenes, I think, in Doctor Who. It would not be... However, that being said, though, he should have killed the Daleks. Like, it's a good conversation. It's a good conversation, Doctor, but... Take him out. Come on. Here we have another forest. Here we have another forest. Here we have Time Wipe with the 7th Doctor, where he's talking to Davros. So if I remember correctly, this actual scene in particular is when Davros tries to use the Gauntlet of Rassilon to restore Skaro's son. Hang on, Dark Lord. But the Gauntlet's not working properly. I think the Doctor messes up with it, and he blows up Skaro's son instead, and almost dooms the Dalek race. I think that's why the Daleks actually initiated the Time War, actually, because the Doctor blew up their fucking star. The Sonic Screwdriver does not work on Dante. The Sonic Screwdriver doesn't work on organic life. It doesn't hurt anything. At best, it would work on Dante's weapons, but I don't think it would either. Here we have just the standard TARDIS. Le TARDIS. The TARDIS. And then I have no fucking clue what the fuck these are. We have Vrestin, Menotropia Leader. I have no fucking... I don't even... I think this is just a reprint of another card. And this last one is the 7th Doctor in a desert area. So this is just the classic Doctor era. My brother bought the modern eras, but I have to go buy the Doctor separately for a couple cents. And because I'm not making a lot of money right now, that'll be the last card game purchase I make for a while. Which means I'll have to put my One Piece purchasing on hold, which I'm fine with. Daleks scale technically above the Doctor. It's just that the Doctor beats them with technology. The Doctor's not very strong. He is technically superhuman, but he's not strong in the sense of, like, he will win a versus matchup. So some other cards I did get, which we might see later on when I do the Master run. So We didn't get any fire TARDISes here, but this is a fire card with the TARDIS on it. You can't really tell because the card's too dark and foily. Another foil landmark card. Another foil, that one. We saw that one. We saw that one. Here's another fire one with the TARDIS on it. It's a little more clear. I just had to get some shiny lands. Okay, so like right here we have Return to the Past. This is when... So this right here is actually when the 12th Doctor is dying. Because the 12th Doctor dies to the Cybermen. And as he's dying, he gets his memories back. And he remembers Clara, who was a companion. I believe he forgot at the end of his second season or first season. I don't remember when he forgets Clara specifically. But he forgets Clara's existence. And then he remembers her at the very end of his life. Here we have Last Night Together. This is the last night he spends with River Song. Pretty cool artwork. So they actually give you a thicker leader card, because this deck's leader is supposed to be the 4th Doctor, so they give you a really thick cardboard. War Doctor in one comic, find a way to kill character who reach enlightenment. Yeah, of course he would, because the Doctor is what people argue Rick and Morty is, or like Rick from Rick and Morty is, where like he can be anybody with technology. The Doctor probably could. Because the Doctor's gone up against like tier 1 like fucking B characters and beaten them. Or gained that kind of power in the past. This is actually a card, this is an alt art, but I really wanted it because it's my favorite Master. We have the Master Multiplied. Now, so the actual original artwork for this card specifically has the End of Time Master, which I will talk about tomorrow a little more. But in the End of Time, the Master manages to outsmart the Doctor long enough to activate a plan where he converts every human on planet Earth into a version of the Master. Or, yeah, they just become the Master. They're all just the Master. It's a really cool episode. But the flavor text for this card, I don't think really worked for that. The War Doctor is the same with the main Doctor, yes. However, this one makes more sense. Because this Master's ability is when you summon a unit that would like leave the field the next turn, it doesn't leave the field. But that didn't really make sense for the End of Time Master. But for the Toclafang Master, this makes sense because in this episode, the Master creates a paradox machine that if you were to kill your ancestor, you would not die. So that's where I think this artwork fits more for the theme of what that deck is going for. Basically. We do have an Immortal, me the Immortal. And you want to know, I just realized, do you have Captain Jack Harkness in your deck or not?
Huh?
You don't have Captain Jack, do you?
No, I have a Face of Bo.
So they didn't print a Captain Jack card, they just printed the Face of Bo. You have the 9th Doctor, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 9th Doctor's in there.
Well, he has to be.
Yeah, so then we have the 12th Doctor, as I already showed you earlier. Did the Doctor beat the Master? I'm going to say it like this. The Doctor consistently wins against the Master, but he usually wins because of outside help. The dynamic between the Master and the Doctor is like this. The Doctor might be a little smarter than the Master and has like more help, but the Master's a lot more resourceful and is a lot more capable on his own. So basically, like to give an example for how their interactions work, the Doctor talks to the Master leaves for like 10 minutes and comes back with a brand new army that's going to kill all creation, and he's just like, stop me.
Oh, Mickey's not in it either.
Mickey's not in it?
No, some people are speculating it's because in real life they got accused of stuff. That doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know.
Captain Jack, he got accused of stuff?
Yeah, well, he got accused of sexual harassing people.
Same as Mickey?
I guess.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, well, it sucks that they did it even more because, the people who got hurt, but, like, those are two really iconic characters for the 10th Doctor's run, so it kind of sucks.
The face of Bo.
What?
And yet they have the face of Bo.
Bro, for reals, bro, cancel the Face of Bo.
Honestly.
Zam, I would appreciate if you explain what is the Master, because I don't know anything about the series or its villains. Okay. So,
There's really no Ultron for Clara?
the Master is a Time Lord like the Doctor. Here, I'll show you both. I have two versions of the Master's Altarts, and I'm very happy about that. I have two really cool. So, the Master is a Time Lord like the Doctor who goes around space and time, but unlike the Doctor who goes to help people, the Master usually goes just to do whatever the hell he wants, usually take over planets and shit, or just mess around. Honestly, I think at one point it's implied that he only really does shit because he just likes fighting the Doctor. I think in one of the novels, it stated that the Master would have Best Master Giant Skeleton. You're wrong! Characters who reach alignment scale 1A or higher, right? Depends on the alignment. 12th Doctor can damage a wall 400 times harder than Diamond. Okay, that is technically true, but that requires so much context. That's not funny. So, for context, they trapped the 12th Doctor in a prison that he will die forever and keep coming back forever. But what happens is the 12th Doctor, because he's so smart, he realizes he's been trapped there for billions of years. And at the end of his journey, he always ends up at a wall that I think he does say is 400 times stronger than Diamond. And he punches it twice before he gets killed. And for like 3 billion years, he just punches it until it finally breaks. But the Master is a Time Lord who just goes against the Doctor. If I'm being honest, so if the Doctor is bloodlusted and out to kill, he can probably kill the Master. But it also depends if the Master knows that. Because I'm pretty sure in an actual straight-up fight, the Master would win. Because the Master beats the Doctor in most of his encounters one-on-one. The Doctor needs to come back, usually, to beat the Master. A great example of this is this Master actually won. He created a paradox timeline. He destroyed half the planet, and he turned the Doctor into a crippled old man and like basically tortured him psychologically for a year. And the Doctor technically wins because his companion executes his plan that gives him godlike power to stop the Master. So, I mean, I guess technically the Doctor won? Technically? He still damaged the wall, just took long in time to break due to thickness. Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, so this is actually the first Master to ever appear back in 58 or 68. He's basically just change of heart. He just takes over people's creatures. The Doctor, you can argue, is a little smarter than the Master, but like the differences between them are so fucking negligible. So the Master's main weakness is that he's too confident in his own abilities. Because he has fought gods and shit and messed with higher powers. There's very little the Master can't do. It's just that because he knows that, he overextends his ability a little too far consistently and will usually lose because of his own, like, either underestimating the Doctor or because what he did worked too effectively. Like, for example, in the first ever Double Masters episode where two Masters appear in the 13 Doctors run, the Master loses because as he's beating the shit out of the Doctor, he doesn't realize the Doctor's changing the code on the Cybermen that the Master created, and the Doctor is able to turn the Cybermen on Time Lords. But because the Master developed the Cybermen to be so powerful, he can't kill them at that point. To the point where it takes like 3 of their weapons, because there's 2 Masters and 1 Doctor, it takes all 3 of their best weapons to kill 1 Cyberman, and the Master had created like hundreds of thousands of them. So he's trapped with the Doctor and another Master on a fucking space station where he created the most dangerous weapon to kill everything. And that's kind of how the Master always tends to fucking lose. Here we actually do have technically the Devil, because for some reason in the 10th Doctor's run, he does run into this demon. Now, demons were a thing in Doctor Who because the Master did summon a demon way back in the earlier seasons. But, so, actually, I wonder if this is the same demon the Master summoned. I don't. This card specifically, if I remember correctly, it's basically it's a version of the Master. However, this card is 6/6. The Master is 3/3. Or this version of the Master, they do something similar, but the Master can grow. This card can't. He is the same cost too, actually. Interesting. I wonder why. Doctor goes to Star Trek verse in one of the Star Trek comics, does he? Applause are everyone's weakness. Too true. And the last card I got from PAX was Rose Tyler. Rose Tyler is the Doctor's companion of the 10th and 9th era Doctors. So really cool.
You did that for a pack, I gave it to you.
Right, yeah, your pack had Rose Tyler, right?
Yeah, and you had the Cyber Planner.
Yeah. Right, yeah, I gave you the Cyber Planner because I get the Cyber Planner in the Master deck. Or I guess the Gold deck to be more accurate. How powerful is the TARDIS? The TARDIS was going to blow up and destroy the entire universe, so I think it's at least low 2C. But I think the TARDIS does have a statement of being a higher dimensional construct. Or I think it has a higher dimensional power source. I think it's more along the lines of 5D technically. So, that's it for this deck for the most part. I think I'll just read over the Doctor's effects real quickly, give a few thoughts on them, and explain, like, how they're low and utilitarian, and then, yeah. We'll probably call it there for this stream. Yes. So, I've seen... Well, actually, let me pull up 13th Doctor real quickly, because 13th Doctor will help me illustrate this a little better, because from what I've seen, this is how it's kind of looking. The villains look like they're better leaders than the Doctors, honestly. The Doctors are a little too utilitarian to where I think they'll actually be useful. So you can use these cards in any deck going forward with Magic in Commander format. It's just that these are specific, like, Doctor cards, and I like running pure decks, so I'll be trying to make this a pure Doctor deck as I go forward, and, like, a pure Doctor Who deck. Yeah, so right here, when the first Doctor enters the battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a card named TARDIS, reveal it, and put it into your hand. If you search your library this way, shuffle. Whenever you cast a spell with Cascade, put a 1/1 counter on target artifact or creature. Okay, so this card's actually a little different than I was expecting. So, this Doctor searches out a TARDIS in the game, and then buffs a TARDIS every time you play a spell with Cascade. Rick and the Doctor is just a really popular matchup because they're both scientists, technically, who travel through time and space and the multiverse, and ultimately can fuck over with reality hard. Because I think Rick does fight God in one of the Rick and Morty episodes. So technically, like, there is something there. So I looked up at the clip, and each punch of the Doctor does harm the wall, as you can hear it crack. I see. The second Doctor, players have no maximum hand size. Oh, that's interesting. So he floods every character with no max hand size. How civil of you. At the beginning of your end step, each player may draw a card. Each opponent who does can't attack you or permanents you control during their next... Oh, that's disgusting. This is actually a really silly fucking leader. Holy shit. Yeah, that is good, actually. Third Doctor, he has Trample. This is more of a battle-focused Doctor. As you can see, he is eating a sandwich as he's fighting with the sword. Very battle-focused. Third Doctor gets +1/+1 for each non-creature token you control. When the third Doctor enters the battlefield, create your choice of a clue token, food token, or treasure token. Fourth Doctor's a little more utilitarian in regards to the other ones. You can look at the top card of your deck at any time. Once per turn, you can play a historic land or historic spell from the top of your library. When you do, create a food token. So he can look at the top card of your deck at any time, and you can play that card whenever you want. And if you play that card, you get a free token from his effect. which that token specifically heals you for 3. The 5th Doctor, Peaceful Coexistence. At the beginning of your end step, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control at the end attack or into the battlefield this turn. Untap those creatures. That sounds pretty strong. I just don't know how that would actually work because I'm not very familiar with how Magic works. So basically, from what I understand, the way this works is any card that doesn't attack or doesn't get summoned that turn gets +1/+1. So basically, as long as you don't attack, he will ramp up your board. 6th Doctor. The Doctor would be... I think the Doctor is smarter than Rick. Because a lot of Rick and Morty kind of reveals that Rick gets some of his better equipment from the other Ricks. Because technically Rick Prime is the one who gives Rick... Well, no, that's not true. The movie has a decent feat of punching a steel door off its hinges. Rick is smart. It's just that I don't think he's on the Doctor's level per se, but measuring intelligence is really fucking hard. Time Lord's Prerogative. Whenever you cast a historic spell, copy it, except the copy isn't legendary. This ability triggers only once each turn. So basically, he just copies any spell you play so you can play it again. The 7th Doctor. Whenever the 7th Doctor attacks, choose a card in your hand. Defending player guesses whether that card's mana value is greater than the number of artifacts you control. If they guessed wrong, you may cast it without paying the mana cost. If you don't cast a spell this way, investigate. So basically, what he does is he can either play a card for free on his attack, or he summons a... What does he summon? All right, work time now. Bye. Laris Demon, thank you for stopping by. He summons a clue card, and a clue is pay 2 mana, draw 1. So even if he can't play a card for free, he gets the ability to draw 1 instead. And then the 8th Doctor is when the 8th Doctor enters the battlefield, he mills the top 3 cards. And then once during each of your turns, you can play 1 card from the graveyard. So that's what they do. And the 13th Doctor is the first spell you cast from anywhere other than your hand each turn has Demonstrate, where you just give it a copy to your opponent, and then you give him +1/+1. He's basically Bill's mom, yeah. Also, hang on a second, Ewan, since I have you here, and looks like you're the only one here now. Can Rick scale to all Rick feats? He should, yeah. So, Ewan, you said something a little interesting that I was a little confused by. Regarding the Angie Womans I got, because thankfully I got all these cards for $1, dude. This is fucking crazy. I even got Upamon. Yeah, I got most of the Chessmon cards. They didn't have all the Pawn Chessmon, sadly, so I'll have to buy those later. But thankfully, it's not too much. I did get 2 Lilithmons, but I might get 2 more just in case. I think get the Geogreymons, as I already showed you earlier. But you said something about the freaking the Angie Woman. I wanted to check real quickly because you said that it was a different Angie Woman with a different effect. Oh yeah, we got Omnimon's Wart now. I'll put that in my Chessmon deck for shits and giggles. Oh shit, you're right. Okay. When attacking, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you can play 1 yellow level 3 digital from your hand without paying its cost. Oh, okay. I see where I messed up. Yeah, it doesn't have the hybrid play on it. Huh, that's weird. Okay. That's weird. Why would they give? Oh, I see. This is a when digivolving effect. I'm gonna Vortex. That's not like Vortex. She's playing actually. No, I got lucky and the guy was willing to give me the cards for super dirt cheap. Who was the best doctor in the game? I don't know. I will buy every copy of the Doctor because I think to buy all of them it's just gonna cost me $1, and then we'll go from there. I do want to make a Doctor focused deck though, for sure. So we'll see what happens if I need to get more searchers or something. But we'll see how it goes. At any rate, that is more or less the first Doctor Who deck I have purchased. I'm only getting 2. Because it's source again, if Padma is coming, you would want her for later since that will allow you to play extra bodies like crazy. Nice. Yeah, so for now, that's about it. 4th Doctor sounds broken. The 4th Doctor definitely sounds really freaking strong because he can look at every card on top of your deck and then play it. But they can all have value in between. They're not necessarily locked to... I'm trying to get a better angle here. There's value in all of them. I do think so. 4th Doctor is the one you're supposed to run for the deck, and I can understand why, because he sounds like the leader that would make the deck work the best. Unfortunately, I probably can't show you guys gameplay because Magic games take for fucking ever, and I still don't fully understand Magic's rules. So probably don't ever expect a Magic duel. The 2nd Doctor's effect was basically 1st Doctor was searching the TARDIS and buffing it. I believe the 2nd Doctor basically prevented you from being attacked. Oh, okay. I see what the 2nd Doctor does. So what the 2nd Doctor does is he gives all of the units on your opponent's field a choice, or he gives... So what the 2nd Doctor does specifically, after reading his effect, I understand how it works. So the 2nd Doctor specifically is... If you draw a card with his effect, you cannot be attacked by those people who drew cards. So what he does... 4th Doctor's is better because the 4th Doctor doesn't give your opponent advantage. I just thought 2nd Doctor's was better because I thought the 2nd Doctor forced your opponent to draw a card. But after reading it, I realized it doesn't. It gives them the choice to. So it's not as good as I thought it was. But it's still pretty solid. Yeah, so you basically give your opponent the choices to draw. And if they want to draw, they can. If not, then, well, it is what it is. So, with that said, I think that's going to be it for today's stream. Tomorrow, before Kyle's stream, I probably will have a video going over the Master deck, because tomorrow I should be getting the Masters of Evil deck. I can talk a little bit more about the villains of Doctor Who than I can the heroes. I'm pretty sure the best Doctor for a burn deck is the War Doctor. So the way the War Doctor works is you mill your deck, and he gets a token. And for every token he gets, he deals 1 damage to your opponent when he attacks. But because Commander format has 100 cards in it, you can mill like 40 cards before you hit his objective. So he'll stop when he hits a legendary creature, but if he doesn't hit a legendary creature, or his support cards don't stop, he will mill his entire deck for like 60 cards. And at that point, he can just attack anybody and insta-kill them in the game. So I would say the other Doctors are a little better for that regards. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Unfortunately, I'm a little strapped for cash going forward. So thankfully, I already have plenty of cards for all my card games. So I won't need to buy anything else for the time being. But I'll probably have to take a break from spending money on card games after I'm done with buying the Doctors for like $1. I might actually get the Digimon Chessmon deck done too. That's only gonna be like another $6. And then I'll be done probably buying card games for buying cards from card. Oh wait, no, those were those cheap ass Vanguard cards. I'll probably spend there like $10 on cards, and then I'll stop for a good long while until I get a new job because I'm starting to get a little financially screwed. Not like dangerously. It's just I've been dipping into my savings a little more than I'd like. Mainly because college make me spend 40 fucking bucks a week on gas, and that's killing my fucking funds. For shame. I'm not any like fucking financial ruin or anything. It's just a little annoying. Just can't afford to spend money on shit I, would like to for the time being. But at any rate, that shouldn't affect anything else, but that might affect stream quality going forward because I did lower the internet plan. Ideally, that won't happen too badly, but do keep in mind it's going to slow. I thought that door was going to close. That will slow things down a little bit going forward, but it shouldn't be too substantial. Will you make a match tournament in the future? If you do, make me know, because I maybe will do an extra push and get Vimencio Bruce the purple version of the Rigby deck. Well, for sure, I think I'll finish up the Chessmon deck for sure, because I'm pretty sure I can buy what's left for like $4, even with shipping. And then we'll see what happens there. I will try. I think I will go to a Magic tournament once or twice this year just to give it a shot. But I probably will not. What's the phrase? I probably will not specifically go to fucking a I don't know if I'll like host a Magic tournament in the future because I doubt I can get Kyle or Mingler to start playing Magic. Devil does play Magic, but he's kind of a little behind on that. And I probably won't be too crazy about that going forward. I gotta talk to my boss tomorrow and see if he'll give me an extra day of work. Because if I can just get one extra day of work, even like a 4 or 5 hour shift, I would literally have more than enough money to fucking. I live a very poor lifestyle. Like literally only buying fucking shirts. Like I need to replace this Tom shirt eventually. It's already fucking faded out super hard. But I don't throw away clothes. Newhin. Yeah, unfortunately I need to get a new one soon, but I can't afford to waste money on stuff right now, sadly. I'll probably once we get the other leader deck done, I'll probably fucking buy 4 shirts commemorating the 4 leaders for a time being. But at any rate, beyond that, that's gonna be it. I will talk about the master deck, and I might talk about specific deck playstyles and how they play once I've learned how to play Magic. But for the time being, I don't really know how to play Magic, so I can't really talk much there. There should be a stream tomorrow with Kyle at night as per usual. We'll see what happens with anything else going on there. Well, it's easy to become a championship Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic? I think it's easier to become a champion in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Magic has a lot of silly shit and like really, depending on the format, really crazy shit. But Yu-Gi-Oh! You can win in 1 turn. So, with that said, unfortunately those are pre-con decks, so if I were to go to the tournament with those, I would just lose. So I'll probably make a deck strategy revolving around something. I don't know. I kind of like the win condition of just insta winning with the doctor. We'll see what happens. At any rate, I'll talk about the master deck tomorrow. Hopefully it'll show up. It was supposed to show up today, but apparently the guy fucking never showed up, so that sucks. And yeah, so with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I will see you guys on the next streamer video. Take care, everybody.